Hi, good afternoon. This is your daily price action outlook for January the 4th, 2013. And boy, did 2012 fly by. I would think that a lot of people could agree with that. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit different here today because we do have some new members that have joined. Really, I'm really happy that we have some of these people that have been joining. We're really developing a good team, good repertoire, and we're having a good time in the lounge over there. So it's really the premier place to be for an experienced trader. And as you see, some EMAs and so forth on these charts. I'm really a price action trader personally. We have a lot of backgrounds and variety of backgrounds with the people that are in the lounge, experienced traders. And I really think that coming to the common goal we have of price action trading, it's really something that is special, and it's something that it's well needed. And as we move forward and get the word out, we look to be attracting even more people to bring into the Price Action Traders Club. And we have a lot of things in store and planning on doing, that are quite different and innovative in this market. But let's go ahead and do the daily outlook. But I do want to mention that we will be releasing a free beginner course on just price action trading, and that'll be corresponding with the need of the market to have that. There's just too much snake oil out there, and not enough focus on the way to actually get profitable trading and to create the correct mental atmosphere for that at the beginning of you starting to trade. So we are going to be demystifying the Forex market as it is mystified a lot of people, and still is. So assuming you can find us on the internet, we'd love to have you come by, and we'll work to get the word out there so you'll have a chance to click on us and see what this is all about. Check out an $8 for 1 week trial, and go from there. At this point, we've been open 1 month, and pretty much every day our plan is worked out. If it didn't work out completely, it just didn't give us as many pips. It didn't reach the profit target. Really a different way of trading than likely most traders have been trading, and it's something really special, and it's something really overdue. So let's go ahead and just get into this and look at this. We do analysis in London, and tomorrow we have a new coach starting in the London session, and we also in New York, I'm covering that. So what we do here on the daily outlook is basically cover the key red and green zones, the short and buy areas that we want to look at for a particular pair. The first thing usually done is to look for obvious pure price action setups on the charts. We haven't had that here the last couple of weeks of December, and I'm not expecting a lot of that, a lot of clear signals on the daily charts until we get to about the second week of January. So we've been doing a lot of stick and move type trading, but at the high probability areas, and it's been working out just fine. So this euro here, it hit its red zone, and it really hung around, didn't it? It came up here. It did not quite hit that second one. There was a little gap between those two, and the story here was hit the red zone, short it, and have your stop at the correct place. What I did is waited till closer to New York, around here on this spike, you see, and we also had a level drawn up here at the top of another price action wick. So there was a possibility it could have went to that next red zone, but this was the ultimate place to short for me. Simply took the trade, and it worked out pretty good, right? I exited before some of the other people in the room, just because I had some things to do, and I was doing plenty fine for the day. Made plenty of pips. It's really not that difficult to make pips if you're really looking at it and focusing on this type of trading. It's not hard to pull 60, 100, 200 pips a day out of the market. And if you get into counters or reloads, which I would prefer, that people do really starting out, you can really just do greater than or better than people that scalp or spot trade. they just haven't really went down the path of trading long term. And if they go ahead and do that and stick with it, they will see that it's a great way to be, and it really gives you the time and frees the time up in your life to do other things. So, aside from the little bit long-winded action talk on that, let's go ahead and look at where would this euro go next, and what's the possibility. With the NFP coming out tomorrow, I think we will get a move. I would prefer this to happen. Okay, I would prefer a retest here. And then we hit this green zone here. I think it'll be a higher low of this. There's nothing mystified about this. You're going to get a higher low, maybe even a price action pin bar right around this 29 to 80, 29.95 area. And you simply exit the continued short there prior to NFP if it works out like that. Simple as that. The other thing is, if it just decides to bounce from here, which is not the level it would bounce at, it's already broke this level. See, this was the daily level on the euro, right? These tops. My prediction, the other day on the video was closing the year out at 131.50. So that was exactly what happened, and we broke that now. And there is going to be a bounce, I think, and NFP really needs to shake out. I'm not going to tell you any real specific stuff trade plan wise other than what I think can happen before NFP, and I like this. Okay, now if we just follow in Asia all the way to the green zone, I'll just use price action in London if I decide to even trade it to possibly take a long, and I'll consider it a scalp. And I don't take many scalps anymore. I don't take many trades. And you don't need to take many trades. So this is going to be looked at more in depth after NFP. We're going to be actually doing the weekly outlook starting this coming weekend as opposed to last weekend, because there was one trading day left in the year to my dismay, but it was really bank holidays and so forth. But pips were to be made. Anyways, moving forward on a buy opportunity of this, we'll be discussing that as well. Simply right now, what I've just explained is the options on this, and you should be able to get to a point where you will not lose any money on the trade, and you should be able to get enough pips to be happy for the weekend on that euro. If you want to trade right next to NFP, right after NFP, or use a short-term chart to try to get into NFP momentum, you might have more problems. It would be better if you could take a trade before that and just skip out of NFP, or just maybe do some analysis then. Pound dollar, I was waiting on this to hit the top of the red zone as close as possible and short it. That happened, and I ended up taking profit right there on this in that area. Don't have the actual price up, but really got the absolute top of this, because right after this zone was, as you see here, this line, and these are considered minor areas, but they are very reactionary because I do them off a fairly significant wick action on the price level. So what this red zone might seem like it's real strong or so forth, but it's just a zone, and it needs to be treated like that. If you don't get a signal to take a short in the zone, okay, then it's up to you to just take the trade or decide to wait for a signal and take the conservative approach. But these horizontal lines are more powerful than you think they are. So it rejected right after that. We got a good short. The plan we had made at 24 hours ago worked out just to a T, and across several pairs. And that's the pound dollar. Okay, and this is the daily chart. This is what we were playing actually. It's a little bit of odd action moving up here. It didn't really scare me. I had talked yesterday in the video about if we were able to higher low, we could break right through the red zone. There's not enough buyers at that first one to do it, and there's too much significant resistance, and we've got NFP coming out. So I would like to continue this down, stall out here, maybe not long it, just have to see, time of day sort of thing, but will not hold it anything past 6 a.m. New York, and let that NFP come out, and people can do what they like to do with that. I'm not really into scalping the NFP and all that type of stuff. I think you can get a good entry, but you can wait till after the stock market and just go with the flow. So there's another demystifying fact that there's thousands of people losing money on NFP, and if they just did that one thing, that would change a lot of people's well, not just their mentality after they lose a trade, but their outlook about NFP. And collecting pips by just sitting down and letting them fall into the bucket, rather than trying to vacuum them up on a 1-minute chart using a fib. So, I don't think that's a good approach. I came from an atmosphere, or came from a group that does that still, and it's very low probability. It's a waste of time. Anyways, as we take a look here now at this Aussie dollar, yesterday talked about what was going to happen likely, and I say likely because anything can happen, but the fact is things have been happening as called, and with everybody in the room has been doing a great job of reading things, and there's a lot of trader intuition being developed in the room as well. I talked about going long on this and trying to short back off of this trend line, and we did not make it quite to the trend line. We're at the third red zone within this condensed area of the trend line, but I don't want to really short it yet. There was a short there. Not interested in it. I won't mess with the Aussie likely till next week. I don't really see anything to do. If you want to scalp, there's your levels. In the live sessions, you'll be able to get a more precise type of setup using price action and time of day if you're looking to scalp, and some pips on that. Alright, and we don't cover a lot of that in the daily outlooks, but I do want to be thorough with this one because we have some new people coming in I'm really excited about that are joining us. Okay, and moving forward here with the euro pound, we've added this recently for the correlation because the dollar index has not been the top dog as far as telling you what's going to happen. It's not, it's been really condensed and so forth, and there's been a lot of basically independent action with the euro and the pound, also the euro and the Aussie, and using those two different charts has been more effective than using the dollar index, as long as you know where your level is and where you're at on the dollar index as a gain, and go forward with that. So the dollar index itself now is waking up though, so I think it is going to be key moving into next week. But we are looking at this, and what we do here, you don't see any zones here. It's pure correlation during time of day is what we're using this for, to determine better entries on the euro or the pound or the Australian, and with the euro odd that we also bring up as well. All right, looking to the dollar index here. It's finally get up to the level that we anticipated last week, and it's trying to college try up here to our next level here, and which is 80.67. That blue line is hard to read, let me tell you. But I don't see this as any kind of head and shoulder situation or anything like that. I don't see this going to tell us something big or anything like that. I see this pulling back again here. I see it rolling over. I do not see it doing this before NFP. Anything is possible, but obviously here was a good start to your shorts on the euro and the pound, right? So as you look back on this nasty action throughout these periods of time, okay, you might be able to get a directional start, but it was not a good way to correlate and find out. For example, a few days the pound just took off. You could not tell by the dollar index that happened. You had to look at the euro pound. So that should be something that everybody should be aware of, and it's not talked about enough in that sort of way. All right, looking forward to gold here now next week. Looking forward to it. Talked yesterday about opportunity here. Looked like a good short opportunity, really a prime short opportunity after the drop down, and it sure enough went short right here at our red zone. And now we are in another red zone. This might turn in, okay, to a green zone, but it's not yet. What I want to see here is it to come down, and I've been talking about this for days. get a 4-hour high or low that turns into a daily pin bar, something like this, but not at the, that was not a bad looking entry, but the market action just, it's not ready yet. Okay, so next week I think we'll get that opportunity, and I'm looking to get us into a trade and hold at least part of it through the entire year, and maybe beyond. So obviously we don't want it to go back against us. Gold really has no reason to keep falling. The fact that it did fall seems like a buying opportunity, and some confused investors about what a safe haven is. So this is nothing to me but waiting around for the next long, which I think is going to be great, really good. So this came down, and it's going to give us a really good long, I think, and really some massive pippage. So that's gold. I'm not looking to take a short on that. If you are, you should have already done that, or you can try a higher low if you want around 1676. Not my cup of tea. So taking a look now at the euro yen. This has been the trade of December. By all means, this has done the best movement, action, and follow through of any pair of the entire month that I've seen. This was the entry we took, 106.63. And, I got out, not at the top here. And, probably should have held at least something, but I'm looking for a pullback still on that. If you're able to hold that, though, you had some really good action. I mean, you've made significant pips in short order, and all based on a price action signal. This is the type of stuff that I look for first on the charts every day for you guys. And it absolutely, in Asia, right after the daily close, started just rocket shipping north. So the short zone we've been talking about, maybe we can try jamming a short up in the red zone here. Well, that thing keeps going, doesn't it? But it hit this next level here, which is significant. And I even added a little minor red zone to for the effect there. It was like a T. And I'm not going to tell you this is going to make it down here, because I don't know if it will. I think we have to assume the higher low is going to be a little bit higher than that, because of the price action we've had. Now I'm taking everything NFP out of this. Not even considering NFP. I think that's just fine. Not even considering it. Some people will disagree with that, but I guess it's all about your winning percentage and probabilities. I know not to trade NFP 1 minute after, but hundreds of people do that, So this is going up at some point, and this is going down at some point. And when it goes down, really is a buying opportunity, I see, unless we have a fundamental change in the market. And that's where it's interesting to talk about some things like that on the fundamental side. There's too much rigmarole coming out of Bloomberg and so forth every day. Well, the yen went down 20 pips today. It's because of this. This happened with the minister. No. That's to the extreme, and it's nothing but it's similar to what we call the 1 minute chart noise, right? Or especially a 1 minute chart with a lot of indicators and all that type of stuff. It's the best way to basically sabotage yourself in your trading career. That's one of the best ways to do it. And another way is being stubborn. Right? Another way is not being open-minded about certain things and ideals. And all that boils down to the lack of trader psychology, real trader psychology. A lot of people out there that talk about trader psychology merely are talking about the things that need to be done, but they're not actually interacting with the mind and the deep subconscious level, which is where change occurs. And that is really the issue with the Forex trading world. And we're going to be exposing that, offering lots of different solutions, some really nice stuff we're going to be coming out with to help traders get to that level they need to be without wasting years doing something that they might believe is productive, but subconsciously they're just sabotaging themselves, sometimes through actions that have been taken by them with certain trading groups, and a lot of it to do with the way people were raised in the Eastern world especially. So in my opinion at least. But yeah, that gold looking to go up, right? Okay. Euro yen, we're going to buy that thing. And, to be clear, I'm not going to give you a figure here, okay? All it is waiting on a higher low of this area, as long as the time of day is correct, and taking it. And if it just pounces on you, then it's not very often it will do that. It's a very high probability trade there, I think, to get some pips. Depending on the time in London, if that happens, don't go for more than the stick and move we've talked about, 35 to 55 pips, just because of that, the NFP and the anticipation of it. I don't think it should be as big a deal as it is, really. Honestly, it's. I think it's been, propped up and so forth, and somehow it's some big deal, but really it's not. And especially these days, it's a joke actually. The figures and everything. Moving forward here, I want to look at that CL. Okay, you've got the Aussie yen here. Got the new red zone up today. We'll have to just watch this with the stock market tomorrow after NFP. It will correlate with the Aussie dollar. And moving on to the oil chart, target was reached at 92, and we went to 93. And I called for it to, ideally come back here and then take a long back off of this previous resistance turn now support area. And we'll be making that a green color. Or it was just going to kind of march up. And what happened today, it's pretty characteristic. It didn't really make a higher high. It was an inside day. And we'll see what NFP does. I think it's going to break one way or another. And it might break down and then people buy it up. So if oil goes down after NFP and the figures are, nothing special, as they always typically are these days, if it starts just falling and taking it down, I would look for a buy, okay? When it's red, start looking for a buy and use your price action entry to get in on that at significant levels. Simple wick levels and stuff like that are very effective on oil. Comparing to currencies, that price action is much more significant, but you have to use time of day correctly. So don't put a big stop on it either. If you get into that momentum trade, you should be able to move to break even within minutes, and you'll have no issues there. So I think trading oil, trading gold is something that you don't have to do, but it is definitely something that you can just do. You can just trade oil once a day and make a living, no problem, or gold, right? So, we have the tendency, it seems, humans to want to catch everything, right? And if I sit here and move this to a 15-minute chart, what happens? Start staring at that for the next 5 hours, right? And you're going to start seeing everything. It's going long, it's going short. You get lost in time of day and everything like that. So I've simplified everything down to the daily. The dailies are up, and then during the session we'll move into some intraday. But everything's called out during the daily price action outlook here. Nothing changes unless it's done in London or something significant happens. Minor levels of green and red zones may be added because of the certain market action at that particular time, where price was, new money coming into the market. But the plan never changes. The plan never changes. And that's really the key, because if you're one that wants to just trade daily off the daily charts, maybe at the New York close, then you just take that trade, right? You just take that trade based on your price action entry. Make sure your risk to reward looks good. Or you're doing things like this, which is the same thing I just described, but also during London and New York, looking for better entries to go with that same bias. Using fibs, using trend lines, price action, mostly, right? Price action. And time of day. Time of day is your best friend. And price action, it's hard to really say which one's your best friend, because without time of day, often there isn't price action. And if there was never any price action, there would be no point to time of day. So they go hand in hand with each other. And the things we're going to be doing to demystify this Forex market, and all the training materials out there and all these different things teaching all these different methods, and we are going to boil this down to very, very simple principles. So you can make a career for yourself, you can make a career for your family, and you don't have to spend years and years doing it. And we're going to be offering the tools needed psychologically to make very profound impacts in a very short amount of time. So, if you're an experienced trader, if you're familiar with trading, we hope you come by and check out the room and join the team. We've got some really good people, some really good people that can analyze charts really well. Each has their own style, but we focus a lot price action. We all understand that. That's really our base is the price action of everything. So what I do with EMAs and so forth, these are just sort of crutches for people. We get 21 EMA, 200, and the 5. You may see some disappearance there on the 5 EMA very soon. It's very good for a quick look to see where your next level is if you're above or below it on a daily open, a new candle. But none of this is needed. So naked trading is all you need, and time of day, price action. That's it. And we'll be showing you the best ways to do that soon. When we get those videos out, it's going to take some time. We're going to put those together very well, and hopefully to have that out. The beginning course, I think will be very helpful for people. And the other ones we're going to do are going to be a little more advanced, and there'll be a fee for that, and to show you the most optimal ways to take advantage of trading on the longer term and making a great living, and not assuming you have to trade intraday every day to make a living trading, because you just simply don't. And thousands of professional traders will tell you that. You simply have to break away from that habit for a while and do it. That's all you have to do. So now we'll scalp around a little bit here and there, though. There's no rules in the room or anything like that. So to each their own. Welcome to talk about what you like. We're not politically correct. You can talk about whatever you want, really. But yeah, respecting others. All right, so that's pretty much it. I hope this has been very clear. I'm going to have some suggestions here from you guys, but I was drawing up some text here to show you kind of what the deal was with each pair. But I've got some other ideas now with sort of taking a snap of this and then adding some notes to it, bringing it up through the session periodically in the Traders Lounge, and then towards the end of the trading day, bringing that up and see how it played out. So far, it's played out pretty much every day, just like we wanted. We will get into some difficult market conditions. Some would say these are difficult conditions, but they're really not. You just have to realize where your support and res is, and you may lose pips quick if you try to hold it through one of those levels. You're simply ranging, sort of. There's a couple trends going on, obviously, but on the most part here, there's nothing happening on the pound dollar yet, or the euro. There's no breakout one way or another, and that's where you're going to start seeing a lot more buyers if this breaks to the north side on these two. So, all right, to sum that up, that is your outlook for tomorrow, and it may be today where you live, but it is going to be January 4th, 2013. And just remember, NFP is out tomorrow morning. The lounge will be open, and we likely will make some pretty easy pips and not be chasing price. Too many people are doing that, and NFP losing fortunes, right? It's a terrible time to even think that. But I don't think it's a bad trading day. It's been portrayed as a day not to trade, or you don't have to trade, or take the day off, and it's not. That's no. Sure, the direction the next week after some analysis has been done on the weekend may change, but there's quite a few opportunities after NFP comes out. Okay, so price action, get in, and you'll make some pips. Interesting level here, though. Would like to see a double bottom. but just expecting that lower high there on that euro. So, all right, well, I'm gonna close this out and see you guys in London. And we have a new coach starting tonight in London doing analysis, so we're looking forward to that. All right, you guys have a great weekend.